Are you in or out on the Titans' decision?
I am out on their decision to commit to it before it happens like this. Like, I don't
That's a
think it's a
good point.
I don't think it's a bad thing to have some special stuff with Malik if you want to go to it. And if you're in a spot to maybe have Levis get some like, I don't want it to feel like a preseason game, right? Like, that's not what this is. That you are
Yeah.
2-4 with a chance to get to 3-4 against a beatable team. Like, the Falcons are 4-3, they're first place. They're a lot better than they were a year ago and have been under Arthur Smith. That they're trending the right way, but they're absolutely beatable at home in Nissan Stadium, rocking your throwback Houston Oilers love you blue jerseys. Don't treat this like a preseason game where you're going to say, yeah, Will Levis is going to get the first 2 series, and then we're going to put Malik in for a series, and we're like, I don't know, like this. Don't
That's not what
commit.
it's going to be.
No, I understand, but like, I don't want it to feel like that. And if it goes like that, then I feel like that's a damning thing on the coaching staff. You want it to feel right. If you're going to use 2 quarterbacks, it needs to feel like it's an advantage, not an experiment, right? And that's what I'm fearing, that this is going to be an experiment to throw Levis out there to get Malik some snaps. But, I don't want it to, I want it to be like planned well. And I don't think I trust the coaching staff to plan this very well, because why should I?
Yeah, I mean, the level of trust is right. Do you trust the coaching staff to plan it? They give you no reason to. Um, I think it really depends, like what you think this is going to look like, right? I mean, like, what do you think Malik's role is going to be? It If Mike Vrabel is doing this to kind of, you heard John Glennon's follow up, get a look at both guys, this is a mistake. Like, if you're doing this genuinely to be like, well, we need to see what both guys look like at quarterback, this is a mistake. I believe,
Agreed.
though, Austin, that this is going to look more like what I described earlier as Malik with a couple special packages, couple direct snap, QB draws, QB runs, RPOs, read options, things of that nature to kind of just change the pace and keep a defense honest. And here's my prediction. I think the Titans are going to do this for one reason. Malik rep here and there, Malik rep here and there, Malik rep here and there, Malik trick play. I think this is a setup to try and hit a big one with Malik Willis in the game. Similar to how we've seen the Titans kind of use Derek, right? Where they do like random wildcat, random wildcat, random wildcat, and then one of these is going to be a pass, and like you don't know which one. I think we're going to see Malik do that very thing, like read option, QB draw, maybe one like play action, one handoff here. And then you're going to see one that's just like this weird flea flicker with Will Levis also. Like, I think they're going to set something up with this. So I'm in on it because I say, why not? If it looks anything like you think it might, it's horrible idea, terrible idea. Don't do it. But if it's just here or there to try and set up a big play and you're not using Malik Willis like a gadget, I'm in. Like, he should not be taking a handoff and doing any of the other like BS he was doing last season that resulted in turnovers. But if he's just operating as a quarterback and you want to give a different look every now and then, I'm okay with it. Sure.
Yeah, I do want to get to more of that, because there's been some good comments in the super chat coming in here too, that comments that I've looked at of something that I agree with about Malik Willis's role in this. So we'll get to those here in a second. But Sam, please tell us all about the Bone and Joint Institute.
The Bone and Joint Institute. Listen, there's a lot of buzz about Ryan Tannehill right now, talking about when's he coming back from the ankle, how long is Will Levis maybe going to be the Titans starter from. Austin and I sat down, did a doc talk with the Bone and Joint Institute last week about Ryan Tannehill's ankle injury. It was very insightful. I learned a ton about a high ankle sprain and exactly what it means for Ryan Tannehill's recovery getting back on the football field. And that's because the Bone and Joint Institute has the best experts in the area, and they're the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. You don't want to fumble on your recovery. You want to visit their state-of-the-art rehab facility located out in Franklin to get clinic, rehab, image, surgery, testing all under one roof, the same campus. No driving all over Middle Tennessee to go to different appointments. You just go see them for good, reliable care and not fumbling on your recovery. With the Bone and Joint Institute, you can schedule an appointment with them at boneandjointtn.org.
And with BetMGM, you can always win big, and you cannot miss out on the best first bet offer in the game right now with any sports book, and that's with BetMGM. Use our code when you sign up, ATOZ Sports. That's ATOZ Sports when you sign up, and go big with your first bet because you get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. Doesn't this Sunday feel like a game Mike Vrabel wins, right? The Titans are 2.5-point underdogs at home. And if you want to go big, maybe Titans plus 2.5, maybe Titans money line on that first bet offer with BetMGM with our code ATOZ Sports, because if you don't hit it, you get that money back in bonus bets up to $1,500. You can also catch all the basketball action at BetMGM this season, as BetMGM is an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. So that's pretty awesome as well. So once again, bonus code ATOZ Sports for the best first bet offer in the game, up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions subject to qualification of requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issued in knowledgeable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days. And for problem game sport, call Tennessee Redline 800-889-9789. So Sam, I got some comments I want to get to that I starred. Lee, first of all, says these two are idiots. Hey, Lee, thanks for watching the show. Sweet car. Here comments that I looked at. One said it happens when you don't have an offensive-minded head coach. That Mike Vrabel is out here saying both quarterbacks are going to play. I don't like it if it's being treated as an experiment. It needs to be used as an advantage. And Sam, you kind of mentioned that did you say in or out on this, by the way?
I'm in because, and I guess that's more predictive on my part of what I think it's going to look like.
Fair.
And what if it looks different, it looks like this, like sort of experiment, like, oh, see how Malik looks on this, like, and he just runs like a random set of 4 plays, like as the quarterback that's like dropping back and actually passing, and you're lacking some continuity with Will Levis. I think that's a big mistake, and I'm all the way out. I don't imagine that's what it'll look like, but
right. So then you brought up like what happens if maybe it's Malik comes in, you get normal play, game plan, trick play, boom, right? And so Andre says, so it's Vrabel's acting like a 9-year-old playing Madden. I don't necessarily think it's going to be that creative. And then Jonathan Ertl says, use Malik like the Saints used Taysom Hill. And I know you got a lot of comments on Titans at 2 yesterday afternoon that somebody mentioned that.
Yeah.
And like,
yes and no. I mean, yes and no, right?
Yes.
Because it's the same. Again, Taysom Hill takes handoffs out of the backfield. Malik Willis is not going to do that, should not do that.
Taysom Hill catches passes,
does jet sweeps, does a lot of things. Malik Willis shouldn't do that. But in the sense that, like I said, occasionally Dennis Allen will wave Derek Carr off the field. He comes off for 1 or 2 plays. Taysom Hill goes in and they just like run the ball twice or whatever, do 2 plays, and then Derek Carr's back in. I think it can keep a defense on their toes, change the pace, and potentially, like I said, set you up for a big play later on. You get on with the defense. Malik Willis comes out and it's QB draw. It's handoff, it's read option, whatever. You start getting into this mode of Willis equals run, watch the quarterback run. And then one of them, you run a flea flicker and you throw it deep to, Nick Westbrook-Akine, and you hope the defense bid on the idea of it being a run. I think there's a possibility that's the idea the Titans have here. And so if that is what you mean by like using like Taysom Hill, I agree. But I don't want to see a ton of Will Levis and Malik Willis on the field at the same time.
Okay. Chef says Taysom Hill is scary because he does everything good. What does Malik even do good? Look, I don't find Taysom Hill scary. I don't think it's from my experience of watching Taysom Hill with the Saints, I feel like it's not super effective. I think it's trying too much, and they would be better off like without having to force something like that. But they're paying him a bunch of money, so they kind of have to do that in New Orleans. Like, what does Malik do well? And that part of the comment I'm interested in, because we played the video from James Foster last week, and I think I still have that. So maybe we can play it again, where, it's not about, Malik Willis's, the 4 sacks weren't all his fault. I'll play it again from James Foster of A to Z Sports Film Room, because I want to have a point to make after we watched the film breakdown from that Ravens game in London.
Malik Willis came into the game in the 4th quarter and took 4 sacks on 12 dropbacks. We're going to look at how many of these were his fault. First play, NPF loses immediately to the inside pressure. Skoronski doesn't slide over and give him help. Tyjae Spears releases out into this swing route. At this point, Malik Willis just needs to dump it off to Tyjae Spears. There's nothing open downfield, but a common theme that we've seen with Malik Willis is overestimating his own athleticism. He just doesn't have the pocket escapability he did at a lower level of competition. Second play, NPF gets pushed back into the pocket pretty quickly. Malik doesn't have room to step up, so he's got to bail to the outside. Again, there's nothing open downfield. It might look like there's a window to hit NWI here, but Roquan Smith is going to intercept that easily, and Malik Willis isn't able to outrun Justin Matabike, and he gets a sack. Third sack, we'll show the sideline angle to start out. Anytime you can have 3 players running the exact same route to the exact same location, you've got to do that. So the right side of the field's off the menu. Chigakonko can't get open over the middle. You got Tyjae Spears coming open on this angle route. He could definitely hit that for a touchdown, but NPF loses immediately to Jadeveon Clowney. Willis doesn't pull the trigger, and he gets sacked. And then final sack, again, there's nothing open. Tennessee doesn't have a lot of juice on the outside as it is, but when you've got 12 yards in a goal-to-go situation and the defense is playing soft zone coverage, there's not a lot of offenses that are going to have route concepts that are going to get open against that. Up front, NPF loses immediately again to this inside spin move. The right side of the O-line just immediately caves in, and Malik can't make anything happen.
And there's another one in there too that I guess technically didn't count as a sack because of the flag, but
right.
Yeah, I mean the one that he escaped the pocket, ran to the left side, stood there for 5 seconds, looked at the end zone, was standing next to the out of bounds.
Yeah,
did another juke move, jumped forward, and then dove back inbounds for a loss of 3. That was
a carry, not a sack.
No, yeah, I think on those yards, I think.
Yeah, on those 4 sacks, I think NPF was bad in just about all 4 situations. But there were 2 plays that Malik should have gotten the football to Tyjae Spears, and those are veteran quarterback type plays to understand that pressure's coming fast and recognizing immediately that your check down is your best option. But the part of James's breakdown that I really wanted to focus on here, outside of NPF being bad, and it sounds like Nicholas Petit-Frere is the left tackle moving forward for the Tennessee Titans over Andre Dillard, which I think is a good thing overall, but neither guy is impressive to me. But it's the fact that James said that Malik overestimates his athleticism. And so when we're talking about this 2 quarterback system and the Titans trying to play both, and how can the Titans use both as an advantage instead of an experiment like I am fearful of, I don't know what that advantage really is by using Malik, because it doesn't seem like he's effective in the regular season with his legs like we've seen him at times in the preseason.
Malik, I disagree with that. I mean, okay. I think Malik is effective as a designed runner. I don't think he's effective as a scrambler. And so I think when you have that version of Malik that drops back to pass, says pressure, pressure, I have to get out of here, hits that flight button, and then overestimates his athleticism and winds up taking a sack, not his hottest moment. I think you have seen when the Titans give him some designed rollouts, when they move the pocket for him, even when it's just a direct snap and a QB draw or something up the middle, I do think he's relatively effective there. And he has enough speed, even if he's not, breaking an explosive play. Maybe it's a play that you use to go ahead and gain 4 or 5 yards on first or second down, and you're just wanting to get into a more manageable spot. And Malik Willis read option, we can get 4 or 5 yards doing that. I think there's a real possibility of that, and so I don't hate that. I think he can be effective as a runner. And then if you are going to use some sort of trick play, like I would want them to, you simplify it for him where it's kind of a one read, it's there or it's not. And, you give it a shot one time. I don't think it needs to be this super long progression of by any means. So
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't want to get to Demario says that James Foster also has video and film showing NPF way better at right tackle. That was NPF's first time at left tackle in the NFL game. Let's give him time to grow at left tackle because I don't want to see Dillard anymore. LOL. Like, yeah, for sure. And NPF, I'm sure there was some rust there. Playing.
The Titans, I'll tell you, man, this coaching staff, for all of the negative stuff that popped on film, people were raving about NPF at left tackle last week.
He was much better than Dillard, but it wasn't like anything to write home about.
I mean,
I
was expecting a typical, like, not super impressed Mike Vrabel response of like, we got to be more consistent, whatever. I mean, him and Jason Hotailing, the offensive line coach, were both talking about just like how quickly he snapped off the ball. Particularly, they mentioned energy, that like NPF got out there and there was a palpable energy that he brought to that huddle of like, hey, let's effing go. Like, let's set the tone right here. Let's run the ball, that they liked a lot. So work in progress, but some